come on over. This is probably one of the more difficult things for people to figure out how to do, but important. We're probably going to brain these twice just to make sure that they get brained enough. You don't have to, but you could. So everybody watching. So double donut.
Go see more cracks.
Have fun, man. Now, if you let this go, whoop-ah, it's going to knock you out, so don't do it. You, and don't take this the wrong way, are physically incapable of ripping this hide. All your hides, can't do it. You'll break this stick before it can do that.
So are you just trying to wring the rest of the water out of it?
Bring it right, bring it home. Yes, ma'am.
Everybody wipe themselves in the swans.
I had oh, I'm like, look, bro, I told you, man. You ain't do it once. That's another reason why I don't have to get beers and do this. It's almost as dangerous as using a chainsaw after a shine. Am I watching? Not me, the hide. Turn it about 90 degrees. Now make sure you remember clockwise or counterclockwise so you're not putting in the same spot each time. Here's your Muay Thai training and your okay. Now it's still got a bit of water on it. Not a bad thing. You can continue to do this until most of the water is out, and or, yeah, this is looking real good. But we'll brain these again just in case. No absolute to it.
Get more control.
Once it starts to dry out, you do this again, you cannot go wrong. You can brain a hide 3 times. It doesn't make it any better, but it leaves a lot less room for error to make sure that that lecithin has penetrated the entire hide.
That's all the control you want.
Can't rip it. Smaller hides, yeah, but deer like this, I've never been able to do it. I've tried. Physically, I'm pretty strong. Now the fun starts. Okay. Now, what I would do first, well, what you can do first, you got 2 options. You have these cables right here. You cable and you break and post the hide. This is also, when we neutralize the hide, helps with this. primarily on the grain side, not the flesh side. See this? That's a little bit of grain left over.
That's the side that we were scanning?
See the grain right there?
Yep.
See a little bit of it come off? You keep doing that until you start to get dry, and or I have one cable here, 2 cables there, and 2 cables right there. I've got another one to put up. It's back here on the table. There are 2 to put on the table if we want to move one somewhere else, if everybody's kind of at the same place at the same time. And or you can do this. Grain side down. These, if you make one of these, I would not do this with pine. I know people said, oh, I do mine with pine. 4x4s are easier to find. If you do a lot of buckskin, you will have a knob right here, and it just will not work. You need edges. You need edges and corners. Grain. Ah! Hey! Grain side down. Step on it. Notice I'm downhill. If you do it uphill, you're going to get a lot more of an ab workout than you want, unless you're Josh and you want to. Hold on to it. And pull. This stretches your height. This will give you an indicator how big this thing is really going to be. Kinga! All y'all going to get put up in a second. Okay, check this. Watch how big this gets.
Doing hair on, do you do the flesh side or hair side down?
You do with the hair side up. If you're doing a hair on hide and you do this, it will start to leave the hide, especially if it's wet. So hair on or bark tan hide, you don't touch this thing. It's soft because of how you're doing it and oiling it. Hair on, you hold the sides and slowly backwards. Snakes are the same way. Snakes you got to be real mindful of. You just back and forth, real careful in the middle, not on the corners.
It's amazing that isn't ripping. So
Say again?
it's amazing that isn't ripping.
Yeah.
If my life depended on it, I couldn't rip this hide with my hand. It's impossible. A hide like this, if it was rotten or a tiny deer, a fawn, maybe rabbits, coyotes, if you really want to, but deer, they are so durable. When you're done, I said, you can ask me, is it done yet? You're going to start seeing this. Watch this. It's still wet, so I can't really show you right now. More like this, more like that right there. Watch this. It's all getting white. That's what you're going to want ultimately. Now what you're going to do is beat on this thing for a little bit. Like, yeah, you'll see. You won't be able to do this. You could put this between our 2 vehicles, and if it was tight and bound up, then you'd probably squeak tires in the dirt. Seriously, it's impressive. Pull on it. After a couple minutes of stretching it out, just like a pizza, let it sit in the sun for, sun comes back at 15 or 20 minutes, and to remove some of the moisture. Right now, a little bit of sun and wind, couldn't ask for it.
So now, so we'll let it 15 to 20 minutes, then do it again. You're saying, or what? So or then we're gonna
We're
rebrain
going to be
them.
here until dinner doing this.
So we're gonna rebrain them then, or you just keep doing it over and over
For
again?
the rebraining, I would say once it starts to dry out a little bit, just rebrain them again. Can't hurt. All that's going to happen is it's not going to soak in anymore, and you're going to saturate that collagen fiber network. Some people say you don't have to. I say you don't have to. That's all the more reason to. So there's no chance that you're not going to get a really good brain time. No sense. The bigger the deer is, like if I'm doing like 150, 180 pound full buck, I would. Small doe, 100 pound doe, if my ADD kicks in, probably would. But it's not necessary. Watch this. There's your sun, right there. Ready?
Oh, that brown just goes away.
Yeah. Go ahead, Peggy. Go for a drive. Come back. I gotta get squared up. Really blowing. The hardest part is the hump in the rump. Now, what's really important about this part is if I stop right now and leave this here and go leave for 3 or 4 hours, I'm going to come back. You can't fix it. You can't. It's very difficult. Once it dries unagitated, this is where when you clock in, you have to stay clocked in until the job's done. But in general, if you rebrain it again, you could. If you have to stop now, you pull the hide up, put it in a plastic bag, put it in the freezer. You do that, you're fine. Question. All right, Mama Bear, there's a whole bunch of little pieces of oak or hickory or whatever hardwood I have floating around here, and I'm going to get this thing hot. Because what I'm going to do is draw a very fine line between keeping it going and putting it out. All the wood I'm going to be using is right here. It's wet. This is wet, rotten, absolutely rotten oak. This, that's edible. This, smoking wood, just like this. If your wood is really, really hard, like firewood, it's still got fuel in it, it's too hot, you're going to burn your hides, and you're not going to get formaldehyde you're looking for. You want really, really rotten, punky wood, and this stuff in the back here was specifically for this weekend. If you want to go over and feel it, if you can crush it up in your hands, it's probably good. Conifers don't work. Oak is typical, and it was the most common wood that was used. Hickory, chestnut, and I use a lot of cherry. Cherry gives it a really, really cool smell. Same properties are apparent, and gives it a color like a maroon, like a dark auburn color, like that coyote has had a lot of cherry under him when I was smoking it. That smells really, really good. Feel free to throw in questions if you have them. Buckskin, 2-3 days, 12 hours a day, something like that. Basically, until it's done. Like, if this was the norm, you're looking at, and it was windy like this every day, you're looking at weeks. If it was like it was this morning when we started, you could probably get away with 2 days and you'd be in good shape. The answer to that one is I'm going to give you is until it's done. If you take it out too soon, it's not gonna do it entirely. I don't think you can really put it in there for too long. Usually somewhere in the ballpark of 1 to 3 days, I would say, depending on the weather, depending on the smoke, if it gets saturated correctly. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. Right there. See how it's rotten? The stuff that you're like, it's too far gone past firewood. That's what you're looking for. See this? And I also am real careful when I go through this. I try to pick out anything that's alive. I feel bad. I'm not going to melt it if I don't feel like I have to. And they got much right to be here as I do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a fire pit of wood around this. Do me a favor, somebody grab me one of those buckets of that wood behind there if you would. Here, buddy. Some of these guys I feel bad, so eat them. You'd be surprised, they're pretty good. Okay. If anybody wants one, I'll share. I'm sure there'll be more in here. All right, find one out here. That guy, you don't eat centipedes, millipedes either. Yeah, sometimes those guys bite. Up. Go down there, bub. That's what I'm looking for. Exactly what I'm looking for. Let me get you a whole one. There you go. Now, a whole nother discussion about eating insects. If you see it staring you in the face out in the open and it's got like what? What do you want? Don't eat it. If it's got 8 legs or more, don't eat it unless it's missing legs. Oh, I'm sorry. If it's got 7 legs, I probably wouldn't. Anything more than 8 legs can be dangerous. 6 legs or less and you're probably good. If you have to dig for it, you're probably safe. Not always, but you'll probably be safe. If it's bright colored, don't eat it. Big thing is if you see it crawling on a log and you look at it and try to touch it and it stops and stares at you, don't eat it. It's not scared of you for a reason. So these are one of the few insects that you don't really have to cook. They're not bad, are they? Well, we'll find more. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Go ahead and get out of here. This stuff is nice and damp. See how wet it is, how rotten it is? This is the consistency of what I'm looking for right here. So I've got this thing hot. I've got it really hot. I'm going to start putting rotten on it. Rotten, and now I'm going to put wet. Now the trick is, if I put too wet on it until I get a really hot coal base, I'm going to put it out. So I'm going to let this thing drip a bit. I'm saturated all the way through. And a couple bugs in there, go ahead. See, wet, very finite balance between too wet, not enough. I'm gonna set this one down in the corner. See how it's starting to smoke? We're off to a good start. Dry and wet, dry and wet, dry and wet, dry and wet. I always end with wet. That's too hard. We're gonna put that one back. Dry. That's termite. We cook termites sometimes. A lot of dry, exceptionally wet. What I don't want is this thing to flame up. So, we are at a good start. So, let's see whose hides are done, and we'll go from there. You don't usually do something on a smoking rack this big because I smoked so much stuff and so many big hides. This is easier for me to do. All right, so let me grab this big boy over here and get him hammered too. Plow anybody. Oh, there's a little hook in there. Thank you, brother. Okay. All right, if y'all could give me a hand with this, that would be appreciated. About ready to retire this tarp. It's tired. Oh, this is smoking good.